Welcome back, worms. I feel like it's been too long since I've done a video in this style. So today I've a topic on mind. Lately I've been seeing a lot of videos pop up in on my YouTube homepage and recommended about physical media. It's been a bit of a hyperfixation of mine pretty recently. And I kind of noticed this discussion was very insular. And I felt I needed to give my 2 cents on it, even though I am going to be circle jerking a lot of the same points that are being made. Now, I don't expect to do the video like this the entirety of the runtime. I'll probably sit in a chair pretty soon, but I just wanted to show off this outfit I got on right now. I think it's pretty good personally, but it's not that comfortable standing up because I've walked around a lot today. So, if you watch any video from any of these people whose entire channel is basically dedicated to their physical media collections, you'll hear a lot of the same points ad nauseum. You know that when you buy a DVD or a Blu-ray or a CD or anything like that, it is yours, and yes, that is true, it is yours, and I agree, I love that aspect of it, and that streaming sucks now, and I agree, though I personally believe streaming has always been kind of shit. I'll talk a little more about that later, and how, given the two options, buying physical media is the better option, and yes, I 100% agree. I love Blu-rays. This last few months, I've spent more money on Blu-rays than honestly I think I should have, given my income. But I think it's been a pretty fun hobby to get into, to have a bunch of movies lined up on my shelf, and if I just want to watch it anytime, I can just pop it into my PS3. Because why buy a dedicated Blu-ray player when I can just use a console with a built-in Blu-ray player and just sit back and relax and watch a a good movie that I would require me to have bought in the first place. But I think that's a fun thing to have. I think it's cool. I grew up in one of those households in the 2000s where my family just had a huge fucking shelf of DVDs. Most of it was stuff I wasn't allowed to watch, but there is this undeniable novelty to it, especially given how, that was kind of your option back in the day. It was, buying or renting the DVD, or VHS in some cases, or hoping to God that it comes on cable television. So I think kind of having, a small collection of my own is a little nostalgic in a sense, too, as well as practical. Now, I understand not everyone understands the joy of physical media collecting. Specifically, a few people among the just pirate everything crowd now. I'm not going to say piracy is bad, because I pirate shit all the time. The way I see it, if I can get shit for free with minimal consequences, why the fuck not? Usually the way I go about things is I'll pirate something or I'll watch it for free on Tubi or some shit. And if I like it enough, I'll go out and buy the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. I think owning a movie on a disc, I don't know, gives me more tangible connection to the movie, because if I'm just pirating a bunch of shit online and I just build it up in a hard drive, or more relatably, I think for most people in the modern day, if I'm just watching shit on Netflix or wherever the fuck people watch things, it's more likely to blend together. I think having a movie on DVD or Blu-ray just kind of, I don't know, there's that sort of connection I was talking about there. Again, not everyone's going to understand that. But as I was saying, this straw man I've sort of created that I've labeled the piracy crowd. I've already said, I think piracy is cool. On digital storefronts, if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing, and I think that's fucking great. However, I don't think piracy is the solution. I've talked to people before who, when I've sort of expressed my joy for owning Blu-rays, they've only seemed to have the opinion of oh, but that's, why do that? You can just pirate it. You should just pirate everything. And, I guess I, in practice, agree with that, but piracy is not an ideal solution because people who make media deserve to get paid from the stuff they make. And that's kind of a part of the problem with streaming, is it's just not sustainable. I'll be surprised if, like, streaming as it exists now lasts another 10 or so years, because it's just not profitable. So I can kind of pat myself on the back a little for, I guess, supporting the people who make the movies I like that I buy, even if it's such a minor contribution. But, you know, if it helps me sleep better at night, nothing wrong with that, I suppose. And I guess if it were to come down to, you know, if your only two options for watching things were streaming and buying physical media, I think buying physical media, while, you know, in the short term might be more expensive, I think it's the better choice, you know, because as I mentioned, people are more likely to get paid from their work if that happens. But also, in the age of streaming, so much shit comes out now. I can't fucking keep up with it. You know, and with so much things coming out, it's hard to really care about any of it. Whereas if I can only buy one Blu-ray a month, I'm more likely to treasure that, you know, for the rest of my fucking pay period or whatever. And, you know, in that case, I find that I'll really come to appreciate it. There's a lot of movies growing up that kind of did that for me because I had them on DVD as a kid, and I would watch them so much that even if I don't really like the movies that much now, it undeniably has a place in my heart. Like, first thing that comes to mind is the Simpsons movie. I got that as like a birthday present for, I want to say, my 8th or 9th birthday, and I've seen that fucking movie so many times. I haven't seen it in like 15 years. I couldn't even tell you if I still think it's a good movie, but I still got a soft spot for it. You know, another thing like that, I don't know, fucking White Chicks. I remember that movie mostly being toilet humor, and I couldn't imagine holding it in high regards as I did as a child. But another movie that has undeniably formed a spot in my brain. I'm sure there's some irony in that, given, you know, the whole tranny thing and everything, but I digress. Now, when you watch a lot of videos on this topic online, you'll see a lot of videos start out with, oh, Netflix used to be so good. They had everything, and now they have nothing, and it's on different streaming services. As an anime fan, I could agree less, because I found that the shows that I wanted to watch were, like, I would be fucking lucky to find them on, like, Netflix or Hulu. So the first time I watched Gurren Lagann, I was 13, it was 2012. I was watching it on Hulu. I had seen about 5 episodes, maybe less. I thought it was, like, the best fucking thing ever. And later on, it's gone on to cement itself amongst my favorite anime. Thing was, though, was that, they removed all of the episodes after I had seen the 4th or 5th episode, so I just couldn't watch it anymore. It wasn't on Netflix, I don't think anyways. I didn't really know about Crunchyroll at the time. I'm not really sure how Crunchyroll was operating in that year, and I wouldn't get to finish the series for another 2-3 years when I really had better access to, like, anime streaming websites. Another instance of this happening was when I was still 13. I wanted to watch Dragon Ball Z because I saw a lot of people talk about it online, and I had seen a bit of it on Toonami as a child, and people were hyping it up so much that I really wanted to kind of get in on that. You know, it was on Hulu at the time, so, you know, I watched 10 episodes or so, and then they just, every episode from that point on until the fucking beginning of the Boo Saga was just not there. They were cycling episodes, like, out like that. So I was kind of shit out of luck, I guess. So I just kind of watched what was available. So you know, if people ask me if I've seen Dragon Ball Z, I'll probably say not really. But in reality, I've seen most of the Boo Saga and not much else. And I guess this is the reality of when streaming services dictate what you can and can't watch, although I suppose it's really not too different from cable television in that case. But at least with cable television, when I turn the TV on, something is there. I can just watch what's on. I'm not gonna waste so much fucking time just scrolling like, oh, what am I gonna watch? Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna watch. At least cable television had fun bumpers and stuff. You don't get that in between these shitty fucking ads that they fucking added to Netflix now. At least with cable television, I have a chance to discover something I wouldn't have otherwise because I'm simply watching what is on, and I potentially have a thing I am now a huge fan of. I'd hoped I'd add some nuance to this conversation, but I don't know if I've really done that. I guess I can kind of circle back to piracy. I find that a lot of these videos of like dudes who collect Blu-rays and DVDs, you know, when the topic of piracy is brought up, they'll be like, oh man, I'm just such a huge physical media guy that like, I don't want to pirate it, I want to buy the Blu-ray. And like, look, I get that. You know, I'm sure buying Blu-rays blind without having seen them can be fun. I've done that before. I did that when I got my first job and I didn't have rent to pay, so I would just buy Ghibli movies off like Amazon or whatever. And that was pretty cool. But also, with piracy at your fingertips, I don't think you should have to limit what you watch to what you can afford to watch. Maybe there is a benefit to that. Maybe consuming things a little more slowly is better than just having it fucking shoveled into your mouth by fucking algorithms and shit. Maybe that way you'll be more likely to develop an attachment to it because there's not so much you have to, or rather, that like you're just consuming at all times that it just blends together and you've probably forgotten about it in a few months. But also, I don't really think that what you can and can't watch should be limited to your finances. Let me tell you, if I only watched what I bought through Blu-ray, I'd have watched a lot less movies these last, like, 2 years, because I do not make that much money. But I think that kind of touches on something else that I kind of wanted to get into a little with this video. And that's that I think Blu-ray collecting, like any hobby really, can become a bit of a money sink. You can end up buying things that you realize later on you didn't really want that badly. And you know, if your finances aren't so great like mine, you might just be beating yourself up for that for a while. You might just be like, oh man, why did I spend money on that? I could have used that for like better purposes or whatever. And that's a really easy trap to fall into with consumerism in general, I guess. When I started really getting into Blu-ray collecting again a little earlier this year, I was kind of making a list of like all these movies that I wanted to own. And there's a lot of things on there that, now that time has passed, I'm not sure if I really want it that badly. But hey, on that subject, why don't I go over my Blu-ray collection and DVD collection? This is maybe about half of my total collection that consists of Blu-rays and DVDs. I categorize them separately. It'd bother me too much if I didn't, but I want to go over what I got in this stack here. So, I've shown this in my Assassination Nation review. I like this movie so much that after I watched it, you know, I thought, I want to own this on Blu-ray, and I think this, along with another one I'm going to go over later, is what kind of kickstarted that collection. I don't really know if there's anything I can say about the movie that I didn't say in my review already. But there's a really hot trans woman in this. The movie's pretty cool, too. And I like it a lot. I wish the ending was better. This was the first ever Blu-ray I bought when I was 7. I was really into when did this come out? 95? It says 95 on the back, the 95 Ghost in the Shell movie. I don't know if I really like it that much now. Last time I watched this, you know, I felt like I was kind of a fraud, like I was only pretending to really understand it so I could feel more intellectual. But, it's a pretty movie. This Blu-ray release isn't spectacular. There's, like, no fucking special features on this at all. The People's Joker. So this and Assassination Nation were what got me into it, because I wanted to do a movie night of The People's Joker, and I could not find it on Pirate Bay, and I saw that pre-orders were up for this, so I figured, sure. I can't imagine this movie is going to be everybody's favorite, but it hits all the right notes for me. It took me a bit, I think until my second viewing, to really appreciate it. But get some friends over, you know, get some trannies over, get some food. It's a great fucking time. It is unfortunate, I don't know if you can see it, that my box is kind of cracked in the delivery. I'm a little skeptical of buying any Blu-rays off Amazon after that, honestly. But I'm glad I have this, even if the case might need to be replaced at some point. Pink Flamingos, the Criterion release. Oh, I don't know. What can I say about this movie? It's fucking gross. I absolutely fucking love it. Probably another one of those flicks, I think, that it didn't take me until my second viewing to really appreciate it. But this might be a top 5 movie pick for me. Also, this slipcover is pretty cool. Tangerine. This movie is a great fucking time. If you just love people fucking arguing and fighting, this is like a 10 out of 10 fucking movie. I saw this for the first time on Tubi, and I bought it for a movie night I was doing. Out of curiosity, I checked to see if it's still on Tubi, and it's not, so I made a good call with this purchase. Out of everything I'm showing off in my collection, this might be the most recent, which is The Substance. This was a pretty big hit last year. It's a bit of a disappointing slipcover, because it is just the cover of the Blu-ray itself, but I watched this movie for the first time with a friend of mine on some, like, fucking bootleg-ass streaming service with, like, terrible bitrate. And I knew that was not doing it this movie justice, so I finally was able to get the Blu-ray on Amazon because it was like $17, and it usually goes for way more. Even if the special features are pretty disappointing, especially for a movie with, you know, as good practical effects as The Substance, I'm so glad I own this on Blu-ray because I can just pull it up anytime I want. And I don't have to worry about some like the shitty ass bitrate potentially, you know, lessening the experience. Now for some real wacky shit with my DVD collection, at least some of it. Big Money Hustlers, the fucking, not the ICP movie. There's like 5 movies featuring them, but absolute fucking Juggalo classic right here. Whoop whoop. This is long out of print. I got it off eBay for like $40, and that was cheap because it usually goes for way more. Definitely glad I own this. I've played this on a CRT. This is definitely how that movie was meant to be viewed, especially because it's stuck in 4:3, at least on this DVD. It's on Tubi, and I don't remember if it's 4:3 there or not. So I found this at a Goodwill. It was like $3. I thought it would be really funny to have it in my collection, so that way anyone looking through my DVDs can be like, why the fuck do you have Click? And I can be like, because it's funny. Not the movie itself, but, you know. I saw this movie as a kid, and I just remember laughing when the characters said bad words, and that's the extent of how I feel about this movie. You know, an appropriate follow-up to Click, we have Paul Blart Mall Cop, because again, I think owning this is funnier than the movie itself. This is another one of those movies I saw as a kid. My grandma's girlfriend rented it for me and my brother. I don't think I really paid attention to it, but I told her I thought it was funny because I'd feel bad if I said I didn't like it. I don't remember a single goddamn thing that happens in this movie. Adolescence of Utena. I don't know if this is on Blu-ray. It might be, but it might be like some limited bullshit or whatever. You can see the price tag right. Well, no, you can't because it's not in focus. This was $17 at a second-hand. Definitely a lucky find. I don't know how much this usually goes for. Unfortunately, there is some bit of water damage on the case on the back. DVD still works fine. It comes with a bonus disc, and these are always, this is what I love about DVDs, is that they'll have bonus features which are like a fun artifact of a bygone era. I would like to have this on Blu-ray at some point, if it even fucking exists, because This movie does deserve better than a DVD quality release, even if this is a pretty solid DVD release. It even has a pink case. The last thing in my collection I have with me to show off is Transamerica. This is a bit of a contentious movie. I think, you look at the reviews from the time, it was kind of praised as, tackling, such taboo subject matter, but, in 2025, transbians on Twitter are posting about, like, collaring and leashing and fucking each other. Not exactly revolutionary now, you go on Letterboxd, you'll see a lot of Reddit-ass reviews about how they made the decision to cast a cis woman as a trans woman, which, yeah, I agree. I think that's maybe not the best decision, especially when there are trans actors in this movie. But I might have to rewatch it again just to do a review on this channel, because I haven't done one of those in a while. Anyways, yeah, you can probably see, but like the reason I have this was because it was $1.99. And honestly, I kind of like the movie despite its flaws. And I think that little segment right there kind of reminded me why I kind of got into physical media collecting as a hobby. Because when you just have movies on, like, you can just physically pull up and show off, that's a better conversation starter than like, oh yeah, bro, let me go to my Netflix queue or whatever the fuck. The fact that I have these movies on disc, that's a story there. There is a story to be told. So yeah, I guess I really didn't inject as much nuance into this conversation as I hoped I would have. Oh fucking well, I guess. Go fuck yourself. But not really. I would actually really like it if instead you liked the video, commented and subscribed, and visited my website, kikiash.neocities.org. I don't remember my own website URL. And remember, trans girls rule the fucking world. Thanks for watching.